Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Truth Tellin today. With myself, Deirdre Ryan, I am a certified parent coach and educator, and I work with parents and carers one on one in person in Cork City. I also work online or over the phone, and I host a range of talks and meetups to support parents to be the parent they want to be. And I do have a workshop coming up next Tuesday, the 13th of June, here in my home office and in Cork City. I will leave the information in the comments somehow. And I think actually in the description, I'm not sure, somewhere. Anyway, and it's all about big emotions, co-regulation, the nervous system, polyvagal theory. I think for me, this is the absolute crux of how I parent, how I have shifted how I parent myself, how I speak to myself, how I show up in the world for myself, for others, for clients, for what I do, right? I think it's a big part of the shift away from the old behavioral model, which is outdated, not based in fact, and it's really harmful and detrimental not only to our children, but to ourselves, to our relationships of all kinds, right? So I feel so passionate about it. I try to do this workshop um, as often as I can. Uh, so yeah, if you're interested, please do get in touch. Um, yeah, the website's below, the events will be listed below. It's a small group, it's in my home, and it'll just be filled with information, but also practical tips and my own experience and wisdom, but also all my workshops are created by the people in the room, right? So I'm not there just to fill you with information. We're there to engage together and to really figure things out together, because that is how it works. And to be able to talk out what's going on for you, or be able to get specific examples for you, or to be able to share out um, maybe what you're feeling, right? Or maybe shame around different things, or, it's a powerful space to be together and work through what is going on. So, and I know for myself, I have and continue to work with different healers for myself to be able to dive really deep inside myself and to reparent myself and heal old stories and beliefs which are detrimental. I understand that originally they served me and served a sense of safety for me, but now they just restrict me, right? And they don't allow me to flourish as I am, and they certainly don't allow me to flourish as the parent I want to be. So I come to you as always authentically, as myself, with my experiences, um, yeah, and with my absolute passion and joy and love and hope for not only myself and my kiddo and my family, but for all of us to do this transformative work. So very quickly today, I just wanted to share something that came up here in my home this week, and it's so potent and so powerful. So as I said, I do a lot of work with myself and regulating my nervous system. I work with different healers and different professions all the time. I always getting support, whether internally or externally, and sometimes a combination of both. I'm very much into the zero gravity floats at the moment, which are really potent and powerful for me to be able to start to release some of the tension from my body, because you're floating in Epsom salt, which is filled with magnesium, really helping the body to release a lot that it's holding, right? Because our body holds on to all of it, right? It holds on to all of it. um, yeah, even if, and I've tried to pretend that it's not, or that I've gotten away with it, it's not, it's there. So so with all the work I'm doing constantly, and of course, as you know, I read books and take in information at quite a fast rate with things that I'm interested in. So with all that going on, I am becoming more present for my 14-year-old. I am more able to not take things personally. I am more able to be in the moment and see it for what it is, and not get caught up in my own old stories or beliefs or cultural stories, which we are still being fed. So this is why I know the importance of that work that we do with ourselves is so important. And then as well, the work in community. So from that place, now I'm always going to be human. That's the truth, So it's not, none of this is, 3 easy steps and then there we go, perfect parenting. Um, that's not a real thing. So uh, it just, this week I have been much more able to be present. And also all the things I talk about, looking after ourselves, meeting our needs, understanding what they are, creating spaces and time for ourselves to recover and recharge, right? So all of that's going on, right? So in order to get to this one little instance I'm going to tell you about, all of that is in play, right? All of the work, all of the healing, all of the meeting my needs, acknowledging my needs, that's all in the mix in order to make this happen. So yeah, so it's a pretty stressful week in our home. We're heading off to a very big concert, which is very exciting and also brings up a lot of things. And so I understand that, right? So again, I already understand the context of the week. I understand the context of myself and where I am, and also the context of where my teenager is, right? So again, I'm not, that's another aspect of it. It's getting the bigger picture, is understanding, right? So anyway, one morning there was a lot of stress to get out to something, and my kiddo was really anxious and really stressed. And it, as is a stress response, we all have them, you can go into different states, right? So you might go into your sympathetic nervous system and respond, with fight or flight, right? So you might be, and fight isn't always punching people or hurting yourself. It can be those things, but it could also be, the tone or the yelling or the words that are said, right? So when you think about fight, it's something that you're doing proactively to protect yourself. Again, not consciously, it's automatic, right? So it's like, these are, and if you're saying things that are hurtful or mean to someone, it is a form of protection, either to push them away or keep them out, right? Or you might disappear. Flight also obviously is running away, but also could be, running into the recesses of your mind. Or you might go into the dorsal vagal response of shutting down, or, disconnecting, being like, whatever, I don't care. Or people pleasing, right? Fawning. So it's like just saying whatever they want, whatever, so that you feel safe, because then they won't attack you, right? So we have these automatic responses. They're normal, they're natural, they're there to protect us. It's a body that's working in service to you because it thinks it's under threat. Okay, so that's going on. And sometimes kids do say things that are hurtful. They might say, I hate you, or you're stupid, or I hate this house, or, they can say even things that can be very alarming to hear. Like, I hate myself, and I don't even want to be here. I don't want to live here. I don't want to be alive. A lot of things can come out. When it feels like it's directed towards us, like if they're saying hurtful things to us, like you're stupid, I hate you, or whatever it is, or you're so mean, or or if they're cursing or swearing, it can feel to us like a threat as well. And then we respond. So we may go into a fight and yell at them and say, don't talk to me like that, or you can't say that, or do you know what I mean? It's like, or we may, flight, or we may fawn or people please or shut down, right? So we're it's this, one happens, next happens, next happens, next happens. I know in this house, if Clara or myself scream, like say we see something that's scary, or yesterday I got frightened by my pants rubbing against my leg. It was unexpected and I screamed by my own pants, yes. And then Clara screams. Do you know what I mean? It's not like well, let me think about that, let me scream now. No, it's just that it just matches on, right? So if you go into a place where people are laughing and having a great time, you're going to start to feel that as well, So, yeah, so not sure where I was going with that, but let me just bring it back to, if it feels like someone's saying something to us and we've gone into this response, right, we're just bigging that response. One parent coach shared, and I can't remember who it was right now, I think it might be L.R. Nost, the idea is that we share our calm. We don't join their chaos, right? So in those moments, maybe saying things, we may be feeling things if we're taking it personally. If now, because I'm doing all that work all the time, with myself, I'm able to translate it faster. I'm able to translate the words and I don't take the words literally or personally most of the time, depending on where I'm at and how rested I am and all the work that I've been doing, right? But more and more so, I can stay in the moment, which is, it's profound. If any of you knew me, that is a profound, profound statement to make. And it's true, So, yeah, I'm able to translate it. I'm not taking it personally. And, I'm not going down the path of yelling back and saying, you can't talk to me like that. Because again, who said it's not okay for me to yell at my kid either? Do you know what I mean? My kid's yelling at me, I'm yelling back. That's not, it doesn't make sense if we think that through, right? So if they're yelling at us and we feel hurt and we yell back at them to hurt them because they've yelled at us and made us feel hurt, right? That doesn't work. If we want to raise kind, loving, compassionate adults, we need to be kind, loving, compassionate adults, right? If you take anything from this video, take that, right? It's powerful. It's a powerful statement. It's simple, it's true, and it's powerful, right? So if we want to raise kind, loving, compassionate adults, we need to be kind, loving, compassionate adults, right? And sometimes people feel, well, if they're talking to me like that, then, they can't talk to me like that, or, they're going to go out in the world and talk like that, or they can't get away with that, right? And I won't let them get away with that, or I need to teach them, right? So all those things can go on in your head, and I'm here to say it's not really true. Do you know what I mean? If you actually look at your children's behavior outside of these heated moments, what is it? Do you really think that they need to be taught that saying those kind of things, maybe hurtful things to someone, is hurtful? And I can pretty much guarantee you I want to say all cases, but I can't make such a claim. Most cases, your kids know. Your kids know. As an adult, I know if I've lost it or I've yelled over something, like, I know. I don't need someone to come in, another adult or kid or anyone to come in and tell me that what I've said and done is hurtful, right? I know that, and it hurts, and you feel guilty and you feel shame, and our children feel the same. That's what I want to remind everyone, right? And so anyway, the example, and from the words of a very profound teen, our kids are amazing and profound and in so many ways beyond us, right? So, I was distressed and, saying things and banging around, and, I just say, I love you so much. I love you so much. I hear you're so stressed. I love you so much. And the response was, how could you love me? I'm so mean and unkind. You know what I mean? You could hear already, while Clara's even in the distress, the amount of shame and guilt and pain that young soul is carrying for the way that they're showing up in the world in that moment. And that's what I want to share. They know they're carrying that. We do not need to add, and I don't in any way recommend or promote adding any shame or blame or guilt or pain onto anyone, any child, any adolescent, young person, or adult, right? So we all feel that. We know inside, right? When we've, unintentionally hurt someone, right? Because our own pain and our own desire to protect ourselves, right? Our desire to protect ourselves will always have this paramount feeling, right? Because the job of the brain, the main primary job of the brain, is to keep you alive. Doesn't matter other than that, So if it feels under threat in any way, it's going to kick in its automatic responses to keep you alive, right? So again, in those moments, if your kids are saying things that may be, are inappropriate, or they're cursing or swearing, or they're saying something unkind towards you, right? In that moment, you come into love with yourself, and you just come into love for them, right? They are suffering, they are struggling, they're having automatic responses. And honestly and truly, the way we treat people when they're at their most vulnerable really will show us who we really are. Do you know what I mean? Like, when they're at their most vulnerable, can we find it in ourselves to show up with love and compassion, not to come in with fighting back or teaching lessons or any of that, do you know? And even outside of the moment, way later, if you want to have a conversation about it, and if we don't add the extra shame and guilt and blame or demand apologies or punish or any of that, I know from experience, my kiddo will come and say, "Wow, we'll own up and do a 4-part apology to me without asking," right? Because when we feel safe, we want to connect, right? If we've been shamed or put down, now it's no longer about what actually happened. It's about the response that was given, right? So um, it's powerful. And I just want to say for all of us, the way we're showing up is valid. It's necessary. It may not always feel nice or kind or gentle, right? But these are our experiences we're having, right? And they're valid. And we have the capacity, right, to come in and meet our children and our young people and ourselves, partners, whoever, with love. We have that. Our ability for love in these human bodies is boundless. It is infinite. It is powerful. I can't speak to it enough, right? When we come into it, there's nothing love can't reach or touch or support or help. So with that said, I'm going to run off and open my heart to beautiful toddlers in Cork City Library. And I'm going to wish you all so much love. So much love. I can feel heat radiating from my body. I just, so much love for all of you. So much love for all of you and for you showing up on this planet and showing up for yourselves and your family. Yeah. And know that that is beyond enough. All right. And hopefully some of you, if you're around Tuesday evening, do get in touch. And we're going to continue this conversation and continue what for me has been life-changing work. Till next time, lots of love. Bye.